It's Friday, everyone. This is Steph Lee, the founder of Host Agency Reviews. Thank you for joining us for the Friday 15. Every Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time, we answer your industry questions, and we've got some great ones today, Lori. Lori is our co-host. We haven't seen her in so long. Hello, Lori Speers.
I know I missed you. Hello, everyone.
I know Lori and I just spent, 30 minutes catching up on dogs, travels, all sorts of things. Lori's fresh back from Greece, only to turn around after being home for the weekend to see her grandson play. Was it soccer?
Soccer and football.
Soccer and football. To turn back around and now head to Croatia. So I was like,
I know.
wow, your grandson should really appreciate what you're doing for him.
I know. Just to show up, and all they do is say, "Hi, Nana."
I know. I feel the same way though. I mean, I don't have children, but like my niece and nephews, you know how they say that the days are long, but the years are so short, and it's so true. My niece is in sixth grade already and got a cell phone, and I'm like, I just remember holding her in the hospital, and how did she get so big?
Exactly why I made it home for just the weekend, because soon there won't be those little soccer games and
I
football. And there's
know.
nothing like watching 4-year-olds play soccer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was four. That's adorable. I would come home for that too.
Yeah. Or the 7-year-old playing flag football, and it's so serious.
So cute. I love it, love it, love it.
I know.
Well, those of you that are excited to see Lori on as a co-host, because we haven't had her in a while, I want you to be, you're not going to have to go through withdrawal, because we are going to have another thing with Lori. We have some webinars coming up in October I want to chat with everyone about. So October 9th, we have one. The title is Stumbled at the Starting Line, Kickstart your startup with Brownell. October 16th, Lori and your team are going to be on, and theirs is WTF, I own a travel business. Now what? And the WTF, for those that were gasping, it's where to focus, not what you were thinking. So join us for that. We're going to have Abby drop the links to register in the comments and in the show notes. And then the last one is October 23rd, the following week. We have 5 secrets to running a successful travel agency in today's market. So check those out, get registered, check out our events calendar for over 100 different events within the travel industry. And let's get into today's questions. Rachel M is our first one, and she says, hello, Steph and guest du jour. I'm a very new advisor and would like to know how to best make the most of an upcoming trip I'm taking. My husband and I are cruising to the Caribbean in February with our adult children. And to be clear, this trip was planned a year ago, long before I decided to start becoming a travel advisor. We're going to be cruising out of all these different ports. Most of the stops are for 8 hours or so. And we'll be spending a week in Puerto Rico post-cruise. So it's most definitely vacation, but I want to leverage my time and opportunity in these places. I'm planning to reach out to our BDM at the cruise line to see if I can get a ship inspection. So a couple questions she's asking. One, how long do ship well, actually, let's answer them as we go along. So question is, how long do ship inspections take? Lori, what's been your experience?
Well, it depends, on how much time they have to give you as well. But usually maybe an hour max. You're going to see the ship, and because they're just going to show you all the different places. You're not going to hang out in there. So I would say maximum an hour, and you could definitely set that up in advance. And if you don't do it in advance, you can even do it when you get on the ship. They're more than happy. And congratulations to turning your vacation into work. That's what we do when we're in the travel industry. This is your first experience of it, but we all do this. We turn our vacation a little into site inspection. And I love our second question too.
Okay. Let me get back to that. Okay. So would it be feasible to hit up a resort while I'm in the port and do a ship inspection while I'm in the town? I'm loving her enthusiasm towards this.
Me too. I love it, because this is already letting me know you're going to be great in this industry, because you're already willing to take your vacation and turn it into work, because that's what we do. But cruising is one of my favorite things, because you go to so many destinations. And I always set it up in advance. I'll either contact a resort at that destination, and I'll set up a site inspection, maybe even a day pass to spend the day at that property. I've done it when I've stopped in almost every place. I stayed at the Four Seasons, or I've stayed, just contact them, and even an all-inclusive, they'll have a day pass where you can take advantage of the all-inclusive that day. I don't know if your ports have any of those, but they don't have to. Even a resort, they're going to welcome you with open arms, but they do kind of need it done in advance. That is something that you can't just usually show up at the resort and they're going to just open arm welcome you. They kind of like, because it goes through their sales department and they let the people at the hotel know. So those people working the front desk are aware. And I've had some wonderful stays and got to experience a resort for maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, and makes it much easier for you to sell that resort for trips going straight there. And so definitely take advantage of all your ports of call. There might be a port of call, though, that you don't really want to stay at a resort because you want to experience the destination. Keep that in mind, too. That's also very educational, because when you sell cruises, then you want to talk about the shore excursions as well. So I would mix both of those in.
Fantastic tips. And I love that you say that's what we do in the travel industry, is we turn our vacations into business.
We all do.
You'll never vacation again once you start in the travel industry, because you're always like, oh, I should get pictures here. Oh, I need to post here. I should get the business card of this person. And you just never look at it the same, because even if you're not meeting with people, you're looking at what's happening. You're taking notes for future clients, taking pictures that you can post up. So it's great, Robin, that you're already in the right mindset for this.
I'll tell you something, take a lot of photos, do a lot of quick reels, get a lot of B pictures to make things with later, a lot of you experiencing it, and post it and use it, because you'll get more travel showing your experience than any other travel you're going to get. So you're going to go on a cruise, and a week after, and you're going to get so much good content. So just save it, start a photo album, put it all in there, and use it. A lot of people take a lot of pictures and then don't use them. Mm-hmm. You've got one opportunity, you're going on vacation, you're going to have a lot of great shots, and they don't have to be perfect. Most of the time, they just have to have you in them showing a good time. And start that B-roll for yourself of all these shots that you can use. And then don't forget to use them, because it will get people as less professional as it looks and more real is going to get people to contact you about, where are you? What are you doing? I want to do that.
So absolutely. Lori, I'm going to put you on the spot here, because this is not a question in there, but it goes along with it. I'm wondering, when you're talking about getting that B-reel ready, filming different things in the ports or on the cruise ships, what are some areas that you think clients really have responded to in the past on social media for you? Like, what areas should Robin be focusing on?
On a cruise, definitely some of the other things to do on the cruise, besides they know they're cruising. Do they have go-karts? What does the ship offer that's unique and different? Definitely the food. Food always sells. And your cabin, kind of talking about, but a lot of it is you and you having fun doing something. You can do a picture and you can do, but when you're in it, or you're experiencing something, maybe a cooking class, maybe one of the shore excursions, letting them feel like the whole point is for them to think, I could see myself doing that. Mm-hmm. And when they can see themselves there, that's when you got them. So think about what you want to see. Do you really want to see a whole big cabin tour that's real boring that you just want to fast through? Or do you want to see this person having a really good time? Mm-hmm. And the different things that ship has to offer. I recently went on inaugural for Royal Caribbean's new ship.
The Icon?
Yeah, Icon. And we did a real quick, and sometimes they don't have to be a lot. We took a bunch of little pictures of us experiencing different areas and eating, and then put it all together on one quick reel. It got so much attention because it was exciting and people they just wanted to experience what we're experiencing.
You know what? We're going to try to find that. I'm going to sick Abby on that and see if she can find it, and we'll put it in the show notes in the comments for people for some inspiration.
And I'll tell you, don't get hung up on, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do all these things either. And I'm not a young person, but anyone can take a picture and put these together. Believe me, you can do it. Just don't stress on it, and don't get over anxious about it. Just put it out there. It is powerful, because I noticed you mentioned photos, but it's also about the experience. It's
Hmm.
all,
We during host week, I think it was this week, we had Christine Hardenberger did an edu spot on how to make 30 reels in 20 minutes or something that advisors really like. She gave the blueprint for it. So I'm going to drop a link to that as well for people that are looking how to do reels, and not just making a reel, but how to do it on a scale, because that can be difficult as well, especially
oh
as you
yeah.
start traveling more.
Oh, I'm going to watch that myself. That's
I am
awesome.
going to watch it myself too, 'cause I've only made one reel and I didn't even know how I did it. So,
Well, I just want to commend you on turning your vacation into business, and knowing how beneficial that's going to be for you, and
exactly.
realizing that's your new life.
Yeah, and it's a great life, Robin.
It's
And
a
then
great life.
Robin wraps it up with saying, "Thank you so much for your response and for all that you do for the travel community." And Rachel, it is our pleasure. We love being able to do this and being able to hear from industry experts like Lori on what they're doing. A few resources other than the ones I mentioned, I'm going to list our link to our ship inspections and our site inspection articles, and they have downloads where you can print off pieces of paper. There's also resources in there. I'll link to our fam trip articles, and it has some resources for if you're doing a ship inspection and fam trip that are more 21st century, where it's not a piece of paper and it's an app. So I'll link to that. And then one of the other things, this came up I think last week, but when you're mixing that business, you're doing a personal vacation, but there's business, the question comes up, how much can I write off to that? So we will put in an article on the travel expenses, what you can and can't write off, especially when it's that business pleasure mixed together.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, because sometimes you're going to be surprised, and don't always go by what other people tell you. Really need to refer to your accountant.
Yeah, check with your accountant, and even your accountants might not be super familiar. They
True.
read the tax stuff, but they don't know the travel industry super well. So yeah, check it out, because Mary went through a lot of the tax write-off code stuff and found some really interesting stuff.
Awesome. I'm going to look at that article too. I love all the horror articles. They're my favorite.
Thank you, Lori. We spend a lot of time doing them, so I'm glad you appreciate
I
them.
go to the website and go on that search bar so much you'll never know. So
I
much.
Well, I'm glad you're making use of the search bar. Let's see. So our next question comes in from another Stephanie, which is very exciting. So Stephanie says, "Hi, Har Friday 15. I am checking off the Friday 15 and the TAC, which is our travel agent chatter. The travel agent chatter episodes off with every commute to work, and I love it. I'm retiring from a fabulous 20-year career as an art educator in public school this year. I am committed to making it the best school year ever, but I am also so excited to begin a career that I've always dreamed about in the travel industry. I retire in May and would love your input on what would benefit my path to this new career while I'm still teaching full time. So I'm going to commit to 2 or 3 hours, 3 to 5 days a week. I'm really enjoying doing some of the upfront work, like finding a niche, developing my name and brand, reading up on the travel industry, reading up on ASTA and HAR articles. So my questions are, first one, should I jump in and do the 7-day agency setup, or would that be a mistake? Um, well, because it's our course, I would say no, it's never a mistake.
Well, I have some great info to share on this.
Talk to me.
Okay. All right. My top agent is a retired school teacher. And when she just told her story on one of our trainings, so this is really fresh in my mind. She said she made the decision 3 years before she was going to retire to get in the travel business. And she worked both her teaching job and travel for that 3 years, positioning herself so when she retired, she would have this to replace her income. And she did. And she took those 3 years and she got herself positioned. And one of her biggest things, and we overlook, is letting everyone you know that you sell travel. Okay. We forget about that. Think about anyone even listening to the call. Does everyone you know that you sell travel? Because I bet they don't. And they should. They really, really should. And her clientele now are past students that are now adults that are traveling with her. And that's going to happen in no time at all. And they tell their friends and they kind of know you from the school or whatever. So she made in commission over $150,000 in commission in 1 year. She does every year. And it took her a little while. She got her training in. You know what else she did? She went on fam trips. She learned destinations. So she did training. Her specialization is really, she's kind of broad. I do believe in specialization, but she was just building her clientele from students, starting with her students and her the students' parents, to then her students as they got older. So she does a lot of destination weddings because they're older, then they wanted to get married, right? And they go through that time period, and you're going to be part of their life in that time period. And then she did a lot of honeymoons and just a lot of travel, a lot of birthday parties, a lot of just general travel. But she used her resources and her students and took that time to build her education. She mentioned she slowly got herself positioned. She gave herself that time limit. And she also did her education. I think a lot of people forget about getting yourself. Don't rush yourself when you first get in the industry. Take your time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It is a little overwhelming, and just pace yourself to get the education that you need. And I love the education, starting with Steph's education that's a very good first step.
This is really funny because we had at the host agency I used to work at, one of our top advisors was a retired school teacher, and same thing, did the destination weddings of all of her students. And those can be incredibly lucrative. So, Stephanie, well, even with your art background, if you wanted, obviously the children that are taking your art classes or kids that are taking your art classes and their families might be interested in taking art tours in Europe or wherever you're going. So lots of great things. I don't think you can go wrong with doing the 7-day setup now, because I was trying to share my screen, but it's not pulling up my PDF reader for some reason. So I'll just tell you a couple stats from our annual research reports that just came out about host advisors. So we see this every year, and that's that the first 3 years for a lot of people, they're doing it part-time because of the reasons that it just takes a little bit, because commissions don't come in until after someone travels. It takes a while to build up your business and that repeat and referral customers. Year 3 is where it really hits for a lot of people and they go full-time. So I think it's great you're starting now. And when you're asking if you can join a host agency when you're part-time, totally normal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Like, what would you say for the advisors that come into Levarte, Lori? How many that are brand new to the industry start full-time? Or part-time.
Part-time.
Yeah.
I would say out of all my advisors, 95% are part-time. Yeah, they're all part-time people. And they love to graduate into full-time. And the reason some of them are part-time is the world we live in today. People don't want to let go of their insurance. Sometimes that's what they work for, right? So, and to be your own business and be an independent contractor is different. So you can do this. I have very successful agents part-time, and you will learn to block out your hours. And there's lots of training with your hosts, all of us have the same kind of training that'll talk about time management and how to do it. One of my favorite trainings we do is Lift Off for Profits, where we have some of our successful agents share their secret sauce. You know, collaboration is the best thing, and you're going to get that kind of support at a host, and you'll hear their stories, and it'll help you groom yourself. Referral is the biggest piece of business we get, and you've got that started in being a school teacher already in your community. So yeah, I would not be afraid of part-time. I think that some people even decide to stay part-time, even though they have left their job. That's all they want to do. So it's really where it's your business now. You get to set your hours, you get to do how you want to do it, but it's very doable, very doable. And you'll find your way to do it. Like I said, all of our agents are, they've learned how to time manage their different times. I noticed in your question, you were even, because you're a teacher and laying it out, you already designated how many hours and how many days a week. You're already in the right direction.
Yep. Yeah, and that's super important, that time blocking. So your clients also have the expectations when you're working a full-time job that you're not going to get back to them until these times. So very helpful to have that up front. And I know Stephanie so Stephanie also says, like, she's just kind of wondering, should I wait until I can dedicate my full brain and time to this new career? I'm young at heart, and I would be starting this career later than some at 58. So are there other aspects of the travel industry that might be better for a late start? And I would say actually, I think it's 58 is the average. The average age of a hosted advisor it's a little bit lower for new advisors. I think it's 54 or 51, but it's like low to mid 50s for so you are not late to the game. You feel like it's, Stephanie, but you are not. A lot of people do this as a second career. So I would say take your trainings, get things set up, start tapping into that audience so that when 3 years comes, you're going to be able to go full time if you want to, because you'll have the clientele.
Absolutely. You're not late to the game. My agent that I was talking about, young at heart, traveling all the time, as much as me, if not more. She is 67 and she's killing it. She's killing it. She's just started. I mean, she started about your age, Stephanie, but she is just killing it now. Fabulous in the business. And that will be you too. So she started about the same age as you. I opened my own business at 58. So I am not the person to ask, because I think that's when my life just started again. So I think 100% you don't have to think of it like that. You'll find the time. Setting your hours, like Stephanie said, is very important when you're part-time, is letting your clients know when you're available and not available. That's going to be your struggle. You're going to want to learning how to turn it off to not continually do it will be something that you'll work on. But right now, these first 3 years, set your goals. That's one of the things that our agent told us when she did her training, is she set her goals, what she wanted to accomplish each year. And she tried to achieve those goals. Don't make them too hefty. Just set realistic goals. And in your 3 mark, you're going to surprise yourself where you're going to be.
Yeah, exactly. I love that goal setting. And one of the things, Stephanie, kind of as we're wrapping up, there's 2 things I want to mention. One, mark your calendar for the last week in January. I think it's the last full week in January is host week. We'll put a link to it, but that's a fabulous way to kind of dive in. You get to hear from all sorts of host agencies. We interview like 30 to 40 host agencies. You get to interview all the major consortia and hear from them. There's educational components that you get to learn. There's keynotes. So it's a free event, and we're selecting our speakers this week. So we'll have more details out on it soon, but mark your calendar for that. And the other thing is, for kind of setting your goals, if you do sign up for the 7-day accelerator course with the all access pass, you also get the free reports, all 3 of them, for hosted advisor, independently accredited, and employees. And that's a great way to kind of benchmark and say, okay, I can see that at 5 years, this is how much people make, or how many people are part-time at this. what niches are most lucrative, and that can really help you with your goal setting and benchmarking.
Yes, absolutely. And always, you know, you want to benchmark yourself against yourself too. Like if you have a goal, I want so many bookings in a month, and then you just continually look at your growth. And again, selecting a great host. And that's why the host week is so fabulous. I love that week. Yeah. I can't believe it's already going to be January. Where's the time going? But selecting a host that's going to give you that support and collaboration to get your goals where you want your goals, and they're in line with your goals as well.
Yeah, exactly. And as we're wrapping things up, so we are going to link to Levarte's profile so people can take a look. Don't forget, we also, and this might actually be good for Stephanie and Robin who wrote in the questions, but the WTF that Lori is putting on October 16th.
Where to focus.
Where to focus. Little potty mouth over there. So we'll link to that so that you guys can tune in and hear from some of Lori's advisors. It was really popular. They did it earlier this year, I think, and it very popular and inspirational. So we'll link to all of that information for you. Lori, is there anywhere else you want us to link to or ways people can connect with you?
No, maybe just our website. So if you want to know more about Levarte Travel as a host and what we offer and how we support and what we do and what our differentiator is. Also, if you want to talk to one of us to ask further questions, there's a tab on that website that you can set up a meeting and we'll talk to you one-on-one.
Perfect.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Lori. Upcoming for our upcoming hosts. Next week, we have Stephanie Pickles with Pickles Travel Network will be our co-host. October 18th, we'll have Jennifer Dugan with Dugan's Travel. And then October 25th is going to be Dave Myhopper with Travel Planners International. So make sure to join us for those. If you aren't already, you can sign up for Friday 15 reminders. You can get emails and text messages with the questions ahead of time, as well as the link to watch. And you can do that and submit your questions by going to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. And that is it for us today. It is time to break out into the weekend. Lori, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you. And thank you guys for the great questions. Those were fabulous.
Yes, thank you all. And we will see you next Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Ciao.